Hello, welcome to Trace Cloud. In this video, we'll cover how you can define a folder hierarchy in Trace Cloud and organize requirements and manage that kind of work. Now, if you are, I'm sure you have either a Windows or a Mac or Linux desktop, but the idea here is almost all the operating systems give us a concept of a folder viewer, right? A file explorer or something like that, where you have folders, subfolders, and then you can organize your work inside that and manage your work from there, right? So Trace Cloud provides a similar concept. And for example, when I open my Trace Cloud project here, you can see I have my requirement types on the left-hand side in the folder explorer, but each of those requirement types can be broken into subfolders, right? And that helps me better manage and organize my requirements. Now, the beauty of this is once I put my, I would say, requirements or objects into these subfolders, I could very easily pick one and move it across to a different folder in the same requirement type without having to go through a big kind of workload. And as I organize my requirements into a folder, I could use the configure project feature to go and manage access. For example, I have defined roles. Roles are basically a collection of people, right? For each role, I could edit the privileges where I say members of this role can get access to a folder or a subfolder, and what can they do uh, within the project, but only at that folder level. And that gives me an extremely accurate and I would say granular way of managing who can get to my objects and what can they do, because I can define my subfolders and move only a subset of requirements into that folder. Right? Now, once I have defined my folder hierarchy, now how do I create folders? That's the first question, right? I click on any one folder, top level, I do a right click, and I say, I want to create a subfolder here. And when I do this, it automatically creates one and says, here it is. This is your new subfolder. Once I have a subfolder, I could, for example, uh, click here, create a report, collect all my requirements. In fact, I have this ability to kind of display the folder path. I run the report of all the requirements and I select them, and I have these standard actions, the ability to move requirements across folders and subfolders. So in bulk, I should be able to pick, say, for example, all these 56 requirements and move them to, say, my functional requirements Excel import subfolder, and I hit the button, and the next thing I know, they pretty much actually move there. Okay. The beauty of having objects organized into folders is I should be able to click on any one of these and automatically get my folder metrics. This tells me this folder has 23 objects. Some of them are in different stages of approval, some are in different stages of traceability, and I can click on any of these links to get the objects that meet that criteria, right? So in this example, if I were to go here and say, well, this is cool, I have my 23 objects in this, but I have 11 that have not been submitted for approval yet. I click on that, I get my 11, and I can take an action on those 11 objects. There are times when you want to kind of run reports that include everything in that folder and below. That concept is as simple as doing a right click and creating a report. But in this case, you say, I really want to include every requirement in this folder and in the subfolders below. And then when you run a report, you pretty much get that entire data set of every single requirement. So you can see I have 639 objects that exist not just in this folder, but in pretty much every single subfolder added up. Hope that helps. There's a bunch of other magic you can do, but as you play around with it, you can figure those things out.